My name is Steven Munitonis, and I want to thank you all for coming.
What's the meaning of Global Open Water Swimming Conference?
The meaning is actually to bring together all the open water swimmers and so they can meet one another, know what each other does, and learn about their own races in their own countries.
What's the main message for this event this year?
The main message is actually challenge yourself to do whatever you can do.
And you write a lot about open water swimming. What's your main focus on that?
I actually don't have a main focus. I believe anybody who goes into the sea, ocean, lake, river is a hero.
And what's the blog you're writing on?
Yeah, it's the daily news of open water swimming.
Colleen Blair, you spoke this morning about development of long distance swimming in Scotland.
Yeah, it spoke about the history and Ned Barney, who was the first Scottish swimmer to swim the English Channel. And then I spoke about Dennis Sullivan, who was a Dundee swimmer. He was a coach and a mentor and a boatman. I then discussed about Ian Reid, who was another Scottish swimmer who'd swam the English Channel, who's my coach.
And what's your most important message to the long distance
I
swimming?
think it's not to forget where we've come from, and also to thank our boat crews, because without them our swims wouldn't happen.
Michael Reid, one of the most experienced people on channel swimming. I heard you are helping younger people with the long distance swimming. What's your approach?
My approach is to first of all encourage and mentor young people and to tell them that long distance swimming is fun.
And how did you find out after so many years achieving a lot of goals?
I think that is the secret. There's no answer to it. When young people are building up slowly, they're starting with their half-mile swims and their mile swims and their peer-to-peers, they need to enjoy it. It's important that they don't come out with bad experiences. Encourage them and gradually they will build up to the longer distances. They will enjoy it, they will have fun, and they will keep swimming for 50, 60 years as I've been doing.
Colin Hill, you're organizer of events of open water swimming. Can you tell us about the development in that area?
Yeah, so I've been involved in organising events since about 2007, and at that point there wasn't much going on in the UK. So what I did was, really I've focused on just having big, friendly, mass participation events, and from that point on, open water swimming's really exploded in the UK, and it's now the fastest growing sport. So it's a really booming thing to be in, and it's a really exciting time for open water.
What's the next level in that area?
At the moment, everyone sort of is now involved in open water swimming. They like to take part in events, and now people are starting to look at what's next. What's the long swim I can do? Can I swim across the channel? Can I swim the length of a lake? And where else in the world can I swim?
The time of the year, especially in summer, or do you all round go?
You never stop swimming. There's no season for swimming. It's just all year. You have a summer season, a winter season. And so we organise summer events, which are long length of lake swims. And then in the winter, we keep on swimming. So we have cold water swim races. And it's a big part of our business. And it's something that people really enjoy. So the colder, the better.
Well, more, you were a member of the relay team for the Bering Strait.
Yes.
Can you tell us something about your experience in swimming in very cold water?
Yes, the Bering Strait relay was much more than a challenge of cold water. It was a challenge of working together. We swim 10 minutes, not 20 minutes, because of human error. So when you are in the water for 10 minutes, the crew can do quick change. You recover much quicker. Swimming in the ice is much different to swimming in the regular water of 16, 18, 20 degrees, 15 degrees, because you must always be prepared for something that is going to happen. If you become a little bit, it's okay, that is the moment that it is not okay. The minute you get into the ice, the body just goes, and it is the breathing and the muscles become very tight, so you must remain calm. You must know the difference between fear and actual medical challenge. So once you come to the ice with everything medically perfect, then how far you go and what swims you do depends on how prepared you are.
3 most important items for preparation.
You need to be 100% medically fit. You need to understand what each moment is going to do, because if you are in there and you make a decision that is not 100% with the ice, then you're in trouble. You must have somebody who knows how to manage you. So you must always know the person who is with you.
Shelley Taylor-Smith, a member of the International Swimming Hall of Fame. We just had honoring on the International Marathon Swimming Hall of Fame. Can you tell something about the prizes you're given?
Well, it was interesting as a co-host for the 2014 International Swimming Hall of Fame, Marathon Swimming Hall of Fame Awards. It was a very illustrious swimmers, organisers, federations and also administrators being inducted today.
When your presentation was this morning, you told us about achievement you had with Diego. Can you tell something about the mental part in open water swimming?
Well, the interesting thing is, because of my era, we were sharing prize money. We got to race men, just as competitors, not against man versus woman. And it was really interesting because I was ahead of the women. And so it was very interesting that I tried really hard I tried not to focus on the men in there, men racing men. It was just about the competitor. So it worked in my favour because the mental aspect of the money, you had to put that aside. And I used to go in and think, okay, well, I'm racing men, good, but when you get to the top in your field, you think, well, what's going to motivate me more? Mm-hmm. And I realised that it was, okay, how much better can I be? I know for a certain fact that it was my mental strength, my mental toughness, my mindset, my focus that got me to achieve what I did. It is a skill, it can be learned. That's the good news for everybody, and that's what I love teaching now. If you're not prepared, if you haven't got the experience, when you stand on the starting line, it's a competition or whether it's your own goal, I think your hardest competitor is yourself and is your mind. You've really got to focus on what you can control, and so you can do lots of different techniques which I teach people now, but it's not easy, but we're creatures of habit, so you've got to relax and just go with the flow. And in particularly in open water swimming, because it is swimming, you've got to work with the water, because you can never win. She's always going to beat you.
Mark Newman, World Cup champion 1986, 1988. What can you tell us about that period of time?
A good part of my life. I was swimming from long distance from 85 through to 1993. My first channel swim was 1985, and then I won the World Cup in 86 and 88. And I swam the channel 5 times and competed all around the world in major marathon races.
Are you still involved in long distance swimming?
I am now, but in 1993 I had a really terrible race and I decided to finish, and I didn't swim for nearly 20 years. But now I've met somebody that done a channel relay last year. Through being with her, I went on the boat and actually got back into just recreational swimming and swimming for the fun of the freedom and the social aspect. So yeah, it's a fun thing to do, and obviously the health benefits of getting back in and swimming. And
what did you learn about those different periods?
Well, the pressure that I had on me, in the 7 years I was British #1, there was always that constant pressure to either win the race or be the best and not be beaten. And a lot of the pressure was put on by myself. It was just like an internal pressure. But now that there is no pressure, and it doesn't matter whether or not I go in and I'm the fastest or not, and that's just the enjoyment of it. It's a wonderful, wonderful environment out there, and the explosion of long distance swimming and open water swimming in England and Great Britain is phenomenal now. There's thousands of people actually enjoying the sport, and it is there to be enjoyed, and the environment is fantastic.